let's talk a little bit about your role as a Uforia network marketing professional, as a Uforia independent distributor, as a nutritionist. What is your main role? What is your main responsibility? Let's talk philosophically for a moment. So first of all, you've got a couple of different responsibilities. The first responsibility is to just pique people's interest, right? Keep people's interest. Let them know what you're up to. Too many people get involved in network marketing and they're like secret agent network marketers. They're in the business, but they don't want anybody to know they're doing the business. As you got to let people know what you're up to. We're going to talk about some different ways that you can pique people's interest today. So that's number one. Number two is you have to learn how to invite people to take a look at your opportunity. So once you pique their interest, you've got to know how to invite them to learn more. And what are you directing them to? How do you do that? What's the language that you use? Number three, once you invite them to take a look, it's just to simply answer questions for people that want more information. We're going to follow up and answer any questions that they have. And there's a specific way that we do that. And finally, number four is to collect decisions. To collect decisions. Guys, this is what your responsibility is as a network marketing professional. If you are not piquing people's interest in having conversations, inviting people to take a look at what it is that you're doing the follow-up work and making sure that people get the information that they need to make a well-informed decision and ultimately collecting decisions, then you're not in business, because this is what network marketing professionals do. Don't confuse a lot of people confuse the work. They think, ooh, if I'm posting on social media, I'm working. I spent all day on social media. There's nothing wrong with marketing and promoting on social media, guys. But at the end of the day, there's one thing that's going to determine what your paycheck looks like at the end of the week. And it's how many people that you put in process, how many people that you put into this funnel. Let me show you what the funnel would look like. So if we had a big giant funnel, okay, so let's just draw this out. Okay, so we had a big funnel. This is what it would look like. Right here at the top, you've got piquing interest, okay? This is where it all starts, right? Conversations, I want you to write this down. Conversations lead to invitations. Conversations lead to invitations. This is where you start piquing people's interest, and what do? You invite them to take a closer look, right? So the next step is you invite them to take a closer look. And we're going to be using different tools and resources to be able to do that. We'll talk about that in just a moment. So now, and you'll notice from the invitation process, what are we doing? We're following up. We're making sure that we're getting people that have questions connected to the right information so that they can make a well-informed decision. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we're collecting decisions. Now, you'll notice that my funnel gets smaller and smaller. So each step, right? Step one, step two, step three, and so forth, as we move forward, less and less people are in my funnel, and that's okay. The entire process, the entire funneling system is designed for people to remove themselves out of the equation that are not a good fit for what we're looking for. And if you follow these steps, that's great, because they remove themselves, but what it does is it allows you to focus in on the right people that you should be talking to. So again, here's the challenge. The challenge is if you go put, 5 people in process this week, and average 5 people a week for the next 4 weeks, that means you probably put about a total of 20 people in your funnel. Well, if you put 20 people in your funnel, if you're bad at this business, if you literally are just getting started, you fumble the ball, you have a hard time inviting people, if you're brand new in this business, worst case, you're still going to end up with 10% of the people that come out on the other side. Now, with a product like this, I'm just going to tell you guys, I believe that it's more like 20, 30% that are going to come out on the other side, simply because we have a product that everyone wants, right? See, here's the true litmus test of network marketing. If you were to take away the opportunity, the money, all the hype sometimes that's focused around these companies, here's the real question: would people still want to buy your product? And I'm pretty confident that there are companies that are out there right now in network marketing that if you took the money away, those companies wouldn't exist anymore. I'm 100% confident that even if there wasn't money attached to this product, that my wife and I would still order DNA Nutrition. And I imagine most of you would as well. And so that's where you know that you have something special, right? A customer-driven model. So at the end of the day, let's just say that you're really bad at this business. You put 5 people in process every week for the next 4 weeks, you're going to end up with 2 or 3 people that join your business in some form or fashion, whether they're customers or business builders, right? It's all about how many people that you're putting in your funnel. You know, if I increase that number and I take that to 25 people, well, watch what happens. Now I've got 125 people in process, and now I've got 12 or so people that have come into my business this month. Well, guess what? 12 or so people, you know, if we look at the average commission that's paid out right now, which is 40% front level, you know, that could be $150. You know, the top level's $300, mid-level about $150. So 40% mid, you know, average on that times $150. Guys, you do the math on that. You're looking at approximately $1,800 in commission just for going out and doing the work, talking to 25 people a week. But what if you did 50? What if you went out and talked to 50 people this week, 200 people this month? Now you put 20 people into the business. Now you've got 20 people on an average of $150. So now all of a sudden you're looking at what? You're looking at about $2,500 in commissions. Is that right? I'm not very good at math. A little bit higher than that. So about $2,800 in commissions just simply because you went out and started talking to the people. So at the end of the day, what is going to determine what your paycheck looks like is how many people that you put in process. For me, when I'm launching my business, there's a different level of intensity. There's a different level of focus. There's a different level of energy that's brought to the table when you launch your business. If you learn to launch, most people join a business, they sign the contract, they dabble, they put their foot in the water, they're in the business, but the business is not in them. So unfortunately, what do? They limp along. They limp along, and eventually they just die out because there's just no momentum. Momentum is referred to as the great exaggerator. Momentum is a network marketer's best friend. Where does momentum come from? You setting yourself on fire. Somebody has to carry the torch. Somebody has to go first. And if you decide to do that, if you decide to light that torch, guess what? One of my favorite quotes, shine bright with belief and people will come from miles just to catch a glimpse. My question to you right now is, are you shining bright with belief? Are you shining bright? Are you carrying that torch so that the world can see it, so that people go, you know what? I want to be a part of that movement. Everybody wants to be a part of a movement. Don't kid yourselves. Everybody wants to be a part of a movement. Everybody wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves. But somebody has to start the movement, and that comes from you. You know, we've got great leaders in this group, but look, at the end of the day, we got to stop looking for leadership and we got to start looking in the mirror. It all starts with you. This is your movement. It doesn't matter what the leaders are doing, your upline doing. What matters is what you are doing. And so you have to make a decision where you're at and what you're going to do over the next 30 days. For us, I can tell you that we are going all out. I mean, I'm talking 14-hour days. You know, from the time that I woke up, my first call came in at 6:58 this morning. It was Ron Williams. And I was just kind of starting to wake up, and I was laying there in bed. I jumped out of bed. I ran out here and I took that phone call. And you know what? I've been on the phone ever since. And I will be on the phone until we hit the bed tonight. And that's just how it works. Now, I understand that some people have to do this part-time. Some people do this spare time. You have jobs. I get it. I totally understand that. When we were, you know, first really getting going into the business, we've been doing this part-time for a few years. But when we finally decided that we were going to go all in, guys, I had to go to work. I had a job in the morning. I had a job in the evening. I had a little bit of breaks during the day and on the weekends. And that's the only time that I had to build my business. But you know what? I went to work. I took my weekends on because I wanted to change my circumstances and my situation. So you've got to make a decision if you're going to go all in. But what I do know is that when you launch this business with the right energy and enthusiasm, if you launch properly, your first 30, 60 days sets the tone for the rest of your business. Why? Because if I come in here and I create a movement, if I light myself on fire, I have the right contagious enthusiasm and I go all in. I mean, I'm talking about all in. You know, you can't sprint forever, but you can sprint for 30, 60 days. You can even sprint for even 90 days. Some of you guys, if you've never watched the 90-day run by Eric Worre, go watch it. He talks about the type of level of intensity that you need to have to truly launch a business. But I'm telling you guys that if you do that right, everything else will take care of itself. Why? Because if I come in here and my goal, just so you know, is to sponsor 100 people within 30 days. Now, your goals don't have to be the same as my goals, but you got to have some goals, right? You can't hit a moving target. You wouldn't wake up in the morning and grab your car keys and just start driving without knowing where you're headed. So why live your life that way? Set some goals for yourself. My goal is 100 people in 30 days. Now, what happens if I don't hit it? So I might only hit 75. Do you think I'll be disappointed? The point is if I go put that many people in process and I talk to that many people, and we start to create this movement and this excitement and this momentum. We start to create the story. Your story is the most valuable thing that you can have. And in 30 days, I'm calling people up and saying, listen, look, I got started in this deal. Let me tell you what's happening. 60 days from now, let me tell you what's happening. 90 days from now, listen, let me tell you this movement that we've created. People are going to want to join, but you got to go first. So it's all about launching your business.